He's back. The best lightweight on the planet. Gervonta Abdulwahid Tank Davis. The man is back. And he's going up against the 130-pound champion of the world, Lamont Roach. When this fight got announced, I was very, very disappointed. I was like, man, I just wish that Gervonta Davis fought someone else. But now, as the fight is edging closer, I cannot wait for this fight, and I'm going to break it down for you. Now, Gervonta Davis, he gotta be the favorite. He's a 25-1 favorite. But I promise you, not only is this going to be a competitive fight, but this will be one of Gervonta Davis's toughest fights, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's talk about how does an upset transpire. Gervonta Davis, unquestionably, he is the better fighter, or at least he proved to be the better fighter ever since he turned pro. You can't question that. The man is a multi-weight world champion. The man is an absolute superstar, power puncher, over 90% knockout ratio, one of the highest knockout percentages currently in the sport. And if you look at the tape, if you look at the film, Gervonta Davis almost does everything better than Lamont Roach. He punches in between punches better, he has more power, better footwork, faster reaction time, and he knows how to catch and shoot better than Roach. Roach, a lot of time you see him sitting down to catch and shoot, but a lot of times he gets caught. But let me tell you why an upset is possible for this fight. The better fighter doesn't always win. History showed that, and that was why I predicted that Josh Kambosos was going to beat Teofimo Lopez, and he did beat Teofimo Lopez, even though Teofimo Lopez is way more talented, bigger, stronger, faster, everything you can think of, than Josh Kambosos. But yet, Josh Kambosos won the fight clearly. Now let's dive deep. Let's dive deeper into this fight. Let's talk about Gervonta Davis first, the face of boxing, the face of American boxing at least. Him and Canelo Alvarez, you can't question them. They're both the biggest stars in our era. Gervonta Davis, this is not the biggest fight of his career. It is impossible for Gervonta Davis to be as motivated as he was for the Ryan Garcia fight, or for even the Hector Luis Garcia fight, because there was a lot of pressure on him. He had that Ryan Garcia fight in the bag, so he had to be extremely focused and sharp. And yes, he looks to be in phenomenal shape, Gervonta Davis is. But let's be honest, it is impossible for him to be as motivated as he was for his previous fights. This is number one. Number two, he's been talking about retirement non-stop. He's been telling us that this will be the final year that he's going to compete as a professional, or at least he's going to take a break for a long, long time. And it is a bad, bad sign whenever a fighter, an active fighter in his prime, a young, hungry killer like Gervonta Davis, when he talks about retirement non-stop, that is a red flag. And also, Gervonta Davis stopped drinking and smoking years ago. I believe when he was 26 years old, he stopped. But we see footage of him now smoking a couple of weeks ago. So is he really focused? Is he on his A game? I don't believe Gervonta Davis needs to be at his best to beat any fighter on the planet. I believe he is that talented that even if he shows up at a 60 or 70%, he can still beat any lightweight on the planet. But Lamont Roach, on the other hand, this is his Super Bowl. This is his moment. This is the biggest fight of his life. And let me tell you this. Gervonta Davis, the man is a menace. He left his coach Calvin Ford for this fight. He's like his dad. So he will always be on good terms with Coach Calvin. Coach Calvin, one of the best humans you will ever meet. I spoke to him a couple of times. What an absolute gentleman. Gervonta Davis, he wants to son Lamont Roach. Since the day this fight got announced, so what does he do? He packs his bags, leaves his home, and travels to Lamont Roach's hometown. In the DMV area, Now he's training with Barry Hunter and the Headbangers gym. He spent his camp in DC, and Lamont Roach is from DC, and I'll tell you why. I believe this is not the first time that Gervonta Davis trains with the Headbangers, with Coach Barry Hunter. He did it for the first half of the Barrios camp. He trained in DC with Coach Barry Hunter. And Coach Barry Hunter, one of the best coaches America has ever produced, no question, especially in the DMV area. But Gervonta Davis, the main reason why he went and trained with Barry Hunter, to show Lamont Roach that this is my city, this is my town. I run everything. You're from DC, I'm going to train in this fight with the best coach from DC in DC, and I'm going to beat you. This is the mindset of Gervonta Davis. So we know that he's going to be in shape. Because if you train with the Headbangers, you're going to be in shape. You're going to be in absolute dog shape. But will he be at his best? Lamont Roach, why is the man so confident? Every time I hear him speak, I ask myself, is this man really going to just come in and beat Gervonta Davis? Is he really going to do it? I can feel an upset brewing. Gervonta Davis might not be the most focused he's ever been, but Lamont Roach, let's talk about Lamont Roach. The man is an absolute dog. He is not the most talented. When you look at him from the eye test, he doesn't have crazy power, crazy speed. He doesn't have anything that jumps out, but he does everything exceptionally well. And most importantly, the man is confident. The man doesn't have a single question in his mind that he's coming in to not only beat Gervonta Davis, but possibly even knock him out. That's how confident he is. And I have an idea why he is extremely confident. He fought Gervonta Davis twice in the amateurs, and he gave him exceptionally close fights, especially in the second one where he thought that he won, but they gave the decision to Gervonta Davis. But then Lamont Roach took the footage of the fight and sent it to the championship headquarters. I think it was the Nationals. And even because it was a qualifier, I think it was a qualifier for the Nationals, yes. And they saw the footage and they actually qualified Lamont Roach even though he lost. They qualified Lamont Roach to the Nationals, and that shows you that it was a very, very close fight. I couldn't find the footage of the fight, but according to everyone who saw it, it was a very, very close fight. But that was the amateurs. That doesn't really matter. But one thing matters. Lamont Roach felt the power of Tank Davis. 90% of his opponents lose the fight prior to the fight. Look at Frank Martin in his last fight. Frank Martin, when Gervonta Davis fainted him early, and he ran around the ring and Tank smiled at him. Why did he smile? Because he was like, I got you. You're scared of the power. Roach is not going to be scared of the power. Roach felt the power for years. Not only did he fight Tank twice in the amateurs, but he sparred Tank countless times. Lamont Roach, very good chin. His only loss was to Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring I don't believe he is elite by any means. But one thing Lamont Roach learned from that fight, it was a long time ago, it was years ago. But I'll tell you what he learned. Before that fight, before that loss, he was an extremely slow starter. And that slow start costed him the fight versus Jamel Herring, his only loss. Because he almost knocked out Jamel Herring in the final round. And even in the round before that, he was putting it on him. The Herring was done. If they had extra 2 to 3 minutes, I don't have a single doubt in my mind that Lamont Roach was going to beat and possibly stop Jamel Herring. So Lamont Roach, he's one of those fighters that he doesn't take a loss to heart. He takes it as a lesson, and he learned from that lesson. And look at him now, a world champion, 6-fight win streak, fighting the face, Gervonta Davis, fighting the face of boxing. Him and Canelo Alvarez, Tank and Canelo are, let's be honest, they are the faces of boxing. Look at Roach now. And you gotta give Gervonta Davis credit for this. Why is he giving Lamont Roach the fight? I'll tell you why. Because they're friends. He likes him. He has nothing but absolute respect for his childhood friend, Lamont Roach. And that is why he's giving him the fight, so that he can give him a life-changing payday. So both men know just how good the other is. But if Gervonta Davis is not on his A game, he's gonna lose this fight. Lamont Roach, if you look at both men fighting, they have one common opponent, Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia, before he got stopped by Tank, he was taking Tank's power extremely well. Lamont Roach, he is one of those fighters who live in the moment. Before he dropped Hector Luis Garcia, his coach told him what to do, and he was like, I got you, coach. And 2 seconds later, he dropped Hector Luis Garcia. And that shows you the awareness and the IQ of Lamont Roach. He is not the most talented fighter in the world, but he is definitely one of the most confident and hungriest fighters in the world. I cannot wait for this fight. It's gonna be an absolute barn burner. It's gonna start off as a chess match, but then a war is gonna break out. And I cannot wait to see who's gonna win.